Now to presidential politics. On Thursday, Democrats opened a new attack on Mitt Romney, focusing on his one term as governor of Massachusetts nearly 10 years ago.
As we've reported, new polls show Romney gaining ground on President Obama. So what do those polls mean? With 5 more months of this campaigning to go, Jan Crawford has some answers for us. Jan, good morning.
Well, good morning, Erica. I mean, that's polls. They don't predict things. They just kind of reflect where people are on the day they're taken. So, yeah, we've got these polls, the recent polls. They may look promising for Mitt Romney, but we also see the president working really hard to change that. Campaigning last night in Iowa, President Obama continued to hammer Mitt Romney for his time as head of a successful private equity firm.
There may be value for that kind of experience, but it's not in the White House.
Romney's campaign events in West Philadelphia focused on education, what he called the civil rights issue of our time. Going into the summer, polls have the candidates in a statistical dead heat. But as any previous candidate will tell you, polls in May don't mean much in November. In May 2004, the last time a sitting president ran for re-election, George W. Bush was losing by 8 points to John Kerry. But after a tough campaign on national security and growing economic confidence, Bush won. By contrast, his father was the incumbent in 1992, and in May of that year, he was leading Bill Clinton. But over the summer, Americans' confidence in the economy dropped, and George H.W. Bush lost his lead and the White House.
Anything that hurts the U.S. economy right now does not help the president.
According to Gallup, the economic and political climate today is more similar to years when incumbent presidents lost than when they won.
At this stage of his presidency, seeking re-election, President Obama is weaker than Jimmy Carter, who lost, stronger than George Herbert Walker Bush, who lost, and weaker than every modern American president who sought re-election and won. They were all above 50% approval. The president is not. He's around 46%. That's a danger zone.
There are other troubling signs for the president. For 20 years, Gallup has asked voters whether they're satisfied with the way things in the country are going. Today, only 24% say they're satisfied. That's closest to the 20% low in May 1992 in George H.W. Bush's only term. Now, for winning presidents like George W. Bush and Bill Clinton, those numbers were higher. More Americans were satisfied with how things in the country were going. But there is some good news out there for the president. Voters say they like President Obama, that he seems more likable and seems to care more about average Americans. So we've got these strengths, we've got the weaknesses. All of this makes this race going into the summer a toss-up.
Jan Crawford, thank you very much.